Welcome to C-Files, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to be talking to the camera, the phone, to avoid copyright issues. I've had a few copyright hits on my videos because I played other videos and I want to avoid that. So I'm just going to tell you what's going on so that you can research it for yourself and pick up on it. Looks like Trump is and the Republicans are going to be able to retain both the Senate and the House. I understand the House is at 218. We don't know how many more it's going to pick up. I understand there might be about 6 more seats that they could pick up. They could end up at 219, 220, even 221. But we'll see where it is. But they will have the House majority. They'll have the Senate majority. And so that gives Trump a mandate. He won 90% of counties around the country and won the popular vote along with the Electoral College. Now, we previously announced, and I'll just run through the list very quickly, and I have more announcements, that the Department of Education is going to be eliminated. Kash Patel takes over the CIA as CIA director, and he's going to clean up the CIA. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Tom Homan, border czar, who is going to, he's tough. He's tough. He's going to secure that border, and he's going to deal with deportation and the drug cartels and the human trafficking cartels coming across the border. And he's already given notice that they are in big trouble. Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to be, he's heading up the Food and Health Task Force, which is going to be really nice. Mike Waltz, former Green Beret, he's going to be National Security Director. Lee Zeldin, he's going to be head of the EPA. He's going to be cleaning up a lot of regulatory issues. And Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary, Governor of South Dakota. Kristi Noem was I think the only governor that during the entire pandemic did not implement any mandates in her state during the entire pandemic. We have more announcements. Trump has announced Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will head the Department of Government Efficiency. If anybody could clean up the bureaucracy and run it like a business, those two could do it. I mean, what a team. Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine the news is going to come out once those guys take the reign of that new department and begin to clean house. It's going to be very, very interesting, folks. We're in for a very interesting 4 years ahead of us. Also, President Trump nominates Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense, and Gateway Pundit says in a shock move. So let's see what we can learn about him. Just a short time ago, Trump announced he had selected Fox News' own Pete Hegseth. I don't watch Fox News anymore, so I wasn't familiar with him, to lead the Department of Defense. Excuse me. He cited Hegseth's stellar American First credentials and decorated service as an Army combat veteran. He also cited Hegseth's book, The War on Warriors, which analyzed the left's betrayal of those who have risked their lives to serve our nation. And of course, that's a reference to the woke ideology, critical race theory, coming into the military. And as a veteran myself, out of the Cold War and the War on Terror, served in the Navy, I am completely against this new agenda that they put in over the last 4 years or so, this woke agenda. I think it's very damaging to our military. It damages unit cohesiveness. It damages, well, I served on ships, and I can tell you right now, a crew at sea on a ship, a warship, needs to work as one unit, and they need to be able to get along with each other. And of course, that didn't always happen, but then there was disciplinary action taken against sailors that did not get along with each other. There was swift action, and unit cohesiveness was very important, and they dealt with that quickly to gain it. Well, this woke ideology that has come into the military has damaged that unit cohesiveness. And you cannot run a warship that way. You cannot run an army unit that way, a battalion, a company. I was National Guard for 3 years, Army National Guard, so I understand both how the Army works and how the Navy works. And both of them really depend upon this concept of unit cohesiveness and rights and responsibility. These young sailors and soldiers, Marines, airmen, and now Space Force, they have to learn rights and responsibility in the military. And so they have to learn how to take responsibility. They have to learn how to do their job in a responsible manner. But at the same time, they learn that with rank comes privileges, but also with rank comes responsibilities. So when you're so low person on the totem pole, under military law, you have the least rights, but you also have the least amount of responsibility. And the higher up you go, the more rights you have. In other words, more privileges, if you will, but also more responsibility. So that's a very good life lesson that people learn in the military. But this is good. If he's going to clean up the wokeism in our military, that's a good thing. So he made that announcement. He says Pete is tough, smart, and a true believer in America first. With Pete at the helm, America's enemies are on notice. Our military will be great again, and America will never back down. Pete is a graduate of Princeton University and has a graduate degree from Harvard University. He is an Army combat veteran who did tours in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, and Afghanistan. For his actions on the battlefield, he was decorated with 2 Bronze Stars, as well as a combat infantryman's badge. Getting a Bronze Star, that's good if you're enlisted. It's hard to get that if you're enlisted. But it seems like the officers, they get a lot of Bronze Stars. Anyway, Pete has been a host at Fox News for 8 years, where he used that platform to fight for our military and veterans. Good. That's good. Pete's recent book, The War on Warriors, spent 9 weeks on the New York Times bestsellers list, including 2 weeks at number 1. So what Trump is doing is he's bringing in people who are not under the control of the deep state. They're not under the control of the Washington elite. They're not under control of the corporations. Nobody controls them. They're able to come in and take care of business because they don't owe anybody and nobody controls them. And that's really what we're looking for. It'd be nice to get our government cleaned up and make things efficient again. I want to go back to this announcement about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. President Trump on Tuesday announced Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will head the Department of Government Efficiency. Quote, I am pleased to announce that the great Elon Musk, working in conjunction with American patriot Vivek Ramaswamy, will lead the Department of Government Efficiency. It's a brand new department. Together, these 2 wonderful Americans will pave the way for my administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies. Essential to the Save America movement, Trump said in a statement, this will send shockwaves through the system and anyone involved in government waste, which is a lot of people, Elon Musk said. It will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time. Republican politicians have dreamed about and the objectives of DOGE for a very long time. To drive this kind of drastic change, the Department of Government Efficiency will provide advice and guidance from outside of government and will partner with the White House and Office of Management and Budget to drive large-scale structural reform and create an entrepreneurial approach to government never seen before, Trump said. So finally, he says, I look forward to Elon and Vivek making changes to the federal bureaucracy with an eye on efficiency and at the same time making life better for all Americans. Importantly, we will drive out the massive waste and fraud which exists throughout our annual $6.5 trillion of government spending. They will work together to liberate our economy and make the U.S. government accountable to we the people. Their work will conclude no later than July the 4th, 2026. So he's got a time frame on this. A smaller government with more efficiency and less bureaucracy will be the perfect gift to America on the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. I am confident they will succeed, Trump said. We're about to enter a very different America, folks. An America with a smaller government, a more efficient government. We're about to enter a military that goes back to its roots, its honored traditions, its efficiency in warfare on the battlefield, but also a military that will have peace through strength because it's a military that will not have to fight as many wars as it once did because one of the objectives is to end the endless wars. Putin has already reached out to Trump to say, hey, let's get together and discuss the Ukraine issue and find a means to peace. Things are already looking to settle down in the Middle East. Nations there are saying, hey, let's back off and let's reconsider this. Let's take a look at what we're doing. All because of Trump. And you wonder, how in the world does this person who on television and some social media sites and on the mainstream media, they make him look like a bumbling idiot, or they make him look like a felon, or they make him look like this or that or the other thing, which would give you an image of him that would be almost the image of a cartoon character. How could someone like that have such a profound effect upon the world? Well, he can have it because the image that we have been fed about Trump is a false image, and it's not reality. So that's why we don't understand how things are working here, why that's going on the way it is. An article here says one of the world's richest men is moving to America after Trump's landslide victory. And who is this? Well, this is, he says, with Donald Trump's return to the Oval Office, just over 2 months away, America is once again open for business. Anthony Pratt, an Australian businessman whose company Pratt Industries, I think I've heard of that before, is worth an estimated $35 billion USD, confirmed that he had been granted permanent residency in the United States. Quote, over the past 30 years, we have invested to build 70 factories in America, creating 12,000 well-paying American manufacturing jobs. He wrote on LinkedIn, quote, I will remain chairman of Visy Australia and will be returning to Australia on a regular basis, he continued. Pratt is known to be on close terms with the president, a member of his exclusive Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach. Trump has publicly referred to Pratt as a friend and praised his business endeavors. So, I won't go into the other part. It's pretty redundant, but the point is he's already attracting business, and you will see that begin to happen. China is beginning to panic. Their economy is not as strong as people think it is. That, of course, a lot of that's just an image. And remember, politics is all about image. It's all about image. If you watch the election, you know that it's all about image. But once you get elected on the image, then you need to start acting in substance. So you use image to get elected, but once you get elected, now it's time to bring substance and to actually bring substantive change, substantive efficiency, substantive prosperity to the country. And that's what we're hoping out of Trump. We'll see what happens with that. But I have high hopes that he's going to succeed in what he's doing. Now, the House, that being in the hands of Republicans, we need to pray that the right person goes into that. God has shown his providence in this situation. So we pray that God will put the right person in the House as the Speaker of the House. And the Senate Majority Leader, McConnell, is going to be stepping down. McConnell is recommending two people who I believe are deep state and globalist, and we don't want them. Thune and the other, Carnell, I guess was the other senator's name. But there's another senator out of Florida, Tim Scott, I think it is, that is not deep state, according to what I'm hearing, and that's who Trump is favoring. So let's pray that God will put in the right person. Now, that's only three that McConnell is allowing at this point. And see that this autocrat control by the majority leader of the Senate, something needs to be done about that, because we hire senators to go be senators. We hire representatives to go to the House of Representatives. And then they get there, and then the people that we hired, asking that they would listen to us and then make their decisions, are no longer listening to us. They're under the powered control of the Speaker of the House or the Senate Majority Leader. And it's because they're elected with big money. They're elected with the support of corporations. They're elected with the support of money coming from their party, who, if that party is in control, that's a lot of power. And then they exercise that power over them. Hey, look, we got you elected. You owe these corporations. You owe us. You're going to have to do what we say now. And what we're trying to do in Washington, D.C. is to end that type of thinking. That's going to take an effort on our part. So that's why you don't see me with a lot of excitement over what's going on. I am excited. I am happy to see what's happening. But understand, folks, I'm also focused. It's something I learned when I was in law enforcement. Remain diligent, remain focused. Don't get tunnel vision. Don't get lax. Don't let anything become routine. You got to stay diligent. You've got to stay focused and make sure that no matter how much you win, how many victories you get, you got to stay focused. Otherwise, you're going to slip up, and somebody's going to come in and get you at an angle. They're going to attack at an angle or ambush, and you're not going to see it. And that can happen politically. You can get ambushed politically, and you won't see it. And that's what happened to the Democrats in this election. Is they didn't see it coming. They didn't understand what was happening in the country. I understood that 50% of Hispanics were turning toward the Republicans, 30% of black men turning to the Republicans. I understood that the working people in the country wanted someone to go into the White House that was going to listen to them, understand them, work with them. And that's why Trump won. That's what did it for him. And that's why California went redder, is because 50% of Hispanic vote went to Trump. And there's a high level Hispanic population. Matter of fact, Hispanic is the highest population in California now. It's bigger, or there's more Hispanics in California than there are whites, blacks, Asians, or any other demographic. So anyway, so that's they're going to be working on California. I know the RNC and WinRed are going to be working on turning California red. So we'll see what happens when the midterm rolls around. But here's the point. We will support those who do the right thing. And as long as the Republicans do the right thing, we will support them. As soon as they begin to do the wrong thing, I'm not going to support them when they're doing the wrong thing. Any party that comes in, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever it might be, that's my mentality. Now, last thing I want to mention, we just saw God's providence at work, his sovereignty at work. If you think about the story of Joseph in the Bible, Daniel, those things where they went through prison, slavery, hardship, and then God moved them into high position to work his purpose. We're seeing something similar. We had 4 years of Trump presidency. He was somewhat effective, not 100% effective, because the deep state actors surrounded him, and they hindered his ability to get a good agenda done. Then we had 4 years of Biden, and so that was 4 years of deep state control over the country, and the people suffered greatly because of that. Now we have Trump coming back in with a total mandate, and because of what he learned over the first 4 years of his presidency, and because of what he went through with all of the court trials, the attempt on his life, the raid at Mar-a-Lago, you can go down the list. He had the opportunity to grow. See, God uses hardship in our life to mature us. So he matured, understanding the swamp in Washington better than he has ever understood it. Now he's coming in, and he's got, instead of deep state players around him, he's got a team that he's forming that is going to be outsiders coming into Washington, and they're going to clean house. They're coming in loaded for bear and ready for an agenda, and the deep state is not happy. Not happy. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with the IRS, but we'll report on that as soon as we have anything. But look, folks, God has given us grace when we don't deserve it. Let's not squander that opportunity. Whatever happens, let's give him the glory. Let's look inward, clean up our own lives. Let's work to strengthen and clean up the church, because there are infiltrators in churches all across this country that are trying to destroy the church. They're trying to turn the church woke. They're trying to turn the church toward a leftist agenda. We need to resist that. That is unbiblical, and we need to stay with biblical truth. So we need to fight for that. So we got a fight ahead of us. And we need to support a government that's going to make our lives better. Less government in our lives, less burden upon us, so that we can live and thrive. I want to see entrepreneurs thrive in our country, and they can thrive and start businesses, mom and pop businesses, all across this country with this agenda that they want to bring in to the country with the new Trump administration. Um, and I want to see manufacturing come back, and I believe that can happen with the Trump agenda. I think the way he's going to set it up is going to be ripe for that. I want to see the car manufacturers return, come back. GM won't say it yet, but there's rumors that Pontiac is going to come back. GM has let it slip through one of their executives to someone who has insider information. Pontiac might be coming back, folks, an iconic um, American car brand that we lost a number of years back. And they might be coming back with a Trans Am, Firebird, don't know. But that would be amazing. Grand Prix, they had some iconic cars back then. I want to see Dodge, Ram, Jeep. I want to see those companies be saved. Chrysler. We can't lose those companies. Let's bring them back. Let's bring the manufacturing back, because that means a lot of jobs, good paying jobs with benefits. That supports families. I want to see the steel industry come back. Drilling oil creates a lot of jobs with benefits, and it supports families. The country begins to boom. And when the country booms, everybody does better. So let's hope that that's the case. But don't forget that this is all based on God's grace that He has given us. Let's not squander that. Let's give Him the honor and the praise, and let's do that which is right in His eyes, and He will continue to bless us. Thanks for watching, folks. Things are looking good. Now, I know that there's going to be resistance. They're going to fight Trump on this. The deep state will. But they're not doing very well, and I don't think they're going to be able to be effective in their attempts to stop this agenda. So continue to pray that God will bless us, and pray for the salvation of those who are in authority, those who are in government service. Pray for their salvation. Pray that God will give them wisdom. Pray that God will bless them in their service to us. And let's conduct ourselves in a proper manner as well. God bless. I'll see you next time on C-Files.